Hi there, it's John Thompson from the TG Loans Mortgage team. And today we're going to be going over a Borrow Smart, Repay Smart lesson. And today we're talking about, does it make more sense to rent or buy? All right, let me get rid of this and kind of start to go through this. So, renting or buying, obviously this crosses people's thoughts all the time. Does it make more financial sense to rent or buy a home? The reality is that there's a lot of data on both sides of this conversation. And in fact, there are posts you can find on both sides to support the conclusion that either one is good. But I'll just tell you, it depends on the circumstance, of course, every single time. And the things we look at are things like, the initial investment, your cash flow over time, your time frame, and then, of course, your personal viewpoint on stuff. And by stuff, I mean, the accumulation of things, and what goes along with things is paying for things, maintaining things, disposing of things. There's an expense, both mental and financial, involved with owning things. And that includes homes, and so you own a home, there's a certain level of responsibility. If you don't own a home, then you don't need to deal with some of those things. But of course, there's some other benefits that are intangible. All right, so in this example, we're going to compare a $2,700 a month rent versus buying for $600,000 and putting down 5%. So bear with me as I go through these numbers. So again, renting for $2,700 versus buying for $600,000 with 5% down over a 30-year period. So we're going to look over long periods of time, because the reality is that this is a long-term decision. If you decide to enter the marketplace, ideally you're buying and you're going to be a homeowner the rest of your life. Right. So on the left-hand side, we have this, rent situation right here, $2,700 a month. On the right-hand side, we have $600,000, $570 loan amount. Here's your total expenses, $3,735, including mortgage insurance and everything else. So the payment difference of $1,035. We have a 30-year window. We're going to assume the real estate appreciates at 2% a year. So again, real estate going up for 2% a year, which is much lower than the national average. And we're going to assume that you can earn 5% on your money. So if you're not putting money into real estate, you're putting your money someplace else, and that's earning 5%. And that, again, would be a long-term average, which is higher than that number over long periods of time. So if we look at the numbers over here, so on this side, we're going to say we assume the person had $50,000. That $50,000 enabled them to buy the home. If you don't buy the home, then you have $50,000 you're going to keep invested. If you didn't buy the home and you only paid $2,700 a month, then theoretically that was $1,000 that you had that you could also add to your investments, although I would tell you that most people don't do that. But if you're really analyzing this and trying to keep it apples to apples, this is what you would do. So there's $1,035 here, the $50,000 one time. That money is going to go over time to $222,000 over time. So that's great. Now back on this side, we have our assets. So you only needed about $40,000, actually $39,750 to buy the home. So you still had $10,000 left over. That's what that $10,000 is there. And then the $180 is actually the mortgage insurance coming off in year 9. So it's not immediately, it's not coming off till year 9 in this example, but then it goes back into your cash flow, again, to keep all things kind of equal. So if we look at this, you have your total payments over here. The home value has grown at 2% from $600,000 over 30 years to $1,092,000. And your savings, because you had the $10,000 to begin with, and the $180 after 9 years grew to $132,000. So you're ahead by $1.2 million on that very basic metric. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Now let's look at over a short period of time. So in this example, we're going to do the exact same thing, but we're going to look at over 5 years. Property appreciation, 2%. And of course, over a shorter period of time, you want to be really sensitive to that, because markets can go down, they can be flat, and they can also go up. So over a short period of time, you want to be really sensitive, especially in a changing marketplace. So in this quick example, going through all the numbers, you come out ahead by $48,000. That again assumes the 2%. And then what if you had to go sell the home? So now your home is out there at $663,000 is the value. You got to sell it and pay the commissions. That's going to wipe out most of your gain of $48,000, plus the hassle of doing it and the rest of it. So I would tend to say that if your plan is to only be in a home 3 to 5 years, unless you have a smoking deal, I would not buy the house. I would consider renting temporarily. And then if you're thinking about long periods of time, and long periods of time start in year 5 and go out 8, 10, 12, 15 years, then it makes more sense to buy. But of course, every situation is unique, and you should really look at those case by case. All right, so quickly, a lot of these ideas can be found in my book, Borrow Smart, Repay Smart. Let me or Cal or any member of our team know, and we're happy to send you a copy of that. Thanks very much. Have a great day.